Hey, Daniel from these 7Cs. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm super excited because I got one of these guys in, and when we get one of these guys in, it is an exciting day. So let's go ahead and turn it around and open her up and see what's inside. All right. This package day today, super exciting. I know what this one is, so let's just go ahead and get into the box. Man, I love like package days, I'm doing this through camera, so I'm hoping I do not cut myself. There we go. Boom, boom. If you are like me, anytime you get that notification that a package has been delivered, it is cool. So there you go. Opening knife is the Cortex XL. Awesome knife. I made a recent long-term review video on this guy. So let's go ahead and open up the box. Oh man, I'm excited. Now this is not a new knife to me per se, but boom, if you know, you know, this is from Grimsmo Knives. Now this particular one comes in their newer kind of Nanook case, which I think is definitely a step up from their older hard shell cases that they used to ship out their knives with. This is really high grade. I mean, Nanook is a really great kind of a storage kind of case company, and man, this is super clean. Look at that, Grimsmo Knives, and there's a collab right there. And let's open up the latch. Oh snaps. I love it. Now this, look at that. This is, I believe, laser engraved. This is the Grimsmo logo, the helmet. Now, before I get into the knife, just a quick little tidbit, what do you call it? Like advice. Open this one up in the back and it contains all of the other important doodads. Of course, you got your, I believe that's a nano oil. I might be mistaken. But that's the lubricant. And then this is a T9 torque screw to take apart the knife. So I love that they provide the tool for something like that. Awesome. Now before, let me put this aside for a second. Of course, you get the COA, gives you the info about the knife, the kind of the configuration. That's awesome. And then the sticker. So let's go ahead and put this away and get to the star of the show. Now, this is my third, if you know, this is the Rask. This is I believe my third Rask. And I've always been a big fan of the Rask. I've been a big fan of Grimsmo Knives in particular. The two brothers, they've just been a really big staple in the knife community. Their YouTube channel is really great because they really just document their whole journey, their whole processes, the ups and downs. You could tell they are very passionate about just making knives and really perfecting their craft. I mean, they really go into the weeds, into the details about their processes, the machines that they use, their failures, their lessons learned. It's just a great overall just YouTube channel. I've never met them personally, but anyways, let's open her up. Oh yeah. I'm not surprised, mainly because I've had this knife before, but the action is phenomenal. I mean, this knife is, oh my goodness, beautiful knife. Oh, that glassy action, man, that's what I missed. I love the Rask. There is no action quite like a Rask action or Grimsmo action. Their action is just so unique, so profoundly beautiful, amazing. Let me just do a quick close-up. This is the Starburst pattern. I love this. Is my favorite pattern that they put out. They have different like milling patterns, but this one I think just looks absolutely gorgeous. Look at that, just goes right up to that pocket clip. Everything is just streamlined, beautifully executed. I love this. This is a really interesting finish. It kind of shifts the color. I believe that, let me look back at the COA real quick, because it does give us the details. It is a plum with turquoise accents and bronze flakes. So there's a lot of things going on. But look at that. Look at that color gradient. Look at that shimmer, oh my god, that is beautiful. I think this is by far my favorite Rask that I've had. I've had, the first Rask I had was actually a Starburst, but it was like a raw titanium with an acid wash blade. The second one that I had, I think it was a Starburst as well, but I don't recall off the top of my head what that configuration was. But this one, I think by far, man, I'm loving this configuration. It's subtle, but still's got really playful kind of tones, playful colors. If the light hits it at the different angles, man, absolutely gorgeous. This knife is just so elegant. Ah, man, I missed that Rask action. If you've never tried a Rask or the Norseman, I'd say give it a shot, man, because man, they're doing just incredible stuff over there in Canada. Oh, that action, my god, I don't know how they do this. I mean you do know once you start watching their YouTube videos, and you realize just the level of detail, the level of passion and commitment to the knife making craft, man. It is just, I don't know anyone else that is like so committed and passionate about the technical ins and outs on making knives. You know, I'm sure there are folks out there, but in terms of actually communicating that and bringing us knife enthusiasts into the process, man, the Grimsmo brothers, they are like doing it, man. Look at that beautiful stonewash. It's very consistent. The bevels are super consistent. Look at that. Oh my gosh, this is an absolute stunner of a knife. Now there's a lot of Easter eggs. You know, there's not a lot of billboarding on the outside. You just have that Grimsmo logo right there, and then on the pivot, there's nothing on the blade. Now, where all the kind of the fun little details are is actually inside of the handle. It gives you the name of the knife. It gives you the date, the timestamp. The milling pattern that's on the outside is actually also on the inside. So I can't really show you that unless I take the knife apart. I'm not going to do that here, but man, the inside is just as intricate, it's just as awesome as the outside. I'd say maybe even more so, you know, which is really awesome. Look at that. Wow. It's like this bluish kind of a tone, color tone, where the engraving is. That's just gorgeous. I love this bronze hardwell. It just matches very nicely with the overall visual aesthetics of a knife. Look at that. The blade is just hidden inside of the handle. This is I mean, look at that. Look at that visual silhouette. Oh my goodness. This knife is just a stunner of a knife. Now, where does it land in terms of dimensions? It's definitely not a small knife. I'd say it's on the kind of the mid-size to maybe a little bit bigger size. I don't have, let me see. Let me bring out, okay. I'm going to bring out two of the knives that I have on hand. This is the Cortex XL. And if I line it up, it is very, very comparable lengthwise. I think even dimensions-wise, they're very similar profile. And then, of course, my favorite EDC of all time, the Skiff Fugitive. The Fugitive is shorter than the Rask. So there you go. It's definitely not like a huge knife, but it is on the larger side in terms of, I think, length. But with that comes all the real estate, cutting real estate. I think this is like almost a 3.5-inch blade, if I'm not mistaken. I do not have a tape measure, but look at that. You get all that real estate on the handle. Feels very comfortable. I could even choke up in this really interestingly done. I don't know if it's really considered a forward finger choil, but look how they've really rounded off the edges. So it's very comfortable. I'm nowhere near the cutting edge, so I'm good to go. This feels good. This feels good. Oh yeah, this feels good. I mean, there's something about, I think, this kind of this handle profile is fairly neutral. There's not a lot of craziness going on, right? You do have some kind of gentle curves, but you know, it's just subtle enough where it just feels very good in different grip styles, you know, pinch grip, you know, the overhand Mike Myers grip. Yeah, the pull cut, I think that's the pull cut grip, traditional. I mean, very, very comfortable knife, very good looking knife. I mean, you know, if I could think of one word that comes to mind when I see this knife, is streamlined. You know, all the lines are just, it just flows right into each other. You know, there's no funkiness. Even this choil just flows into that flipper tab that flows. Now, this is the interesting part. I think this is where the lines kind of breaks up a little bit. This is their sharpening choil. Now, the way they did it is very interesting, right? Because you got the plunge grind right over there, and then it kind of just leads right in. You know, that sharpening choil is very nicely done. I think visually it looks a little bit interesting. Kind of breaks up the lines a little bit, but in terms of like functionality, I could, you know, it definitely works. I mean, you're gonna get we're gonna get a lot of life on that blade because it's not interfering with that plunge grind. So boom, there's like a clear distinction into that cutting edge, and then there you go, boom. Now you get this really nice kind of straight edge, and then this nice gentle belly up to the tip. Now the tip may look fragile, but you know, this blade stock is not super thin. Well, maybe is it thin? I don't know actually. See, it's definitely slightly thicker than the Cortex XL, and yeah, definitely might be very comparable to the Skiff Fugitive. I'm kind of surprised. I thought it was gonna be thinner than the Fugitive, but looks like it's fairly comparable. Now, oh, I missed this. My bad. So there is billboarding on the blade, but it's on the top, and it's very, very just subtle. Rask, the serial number, and then the blade steel. Now, I believe most of their knives, they're using that RWL34. I have seen some Magna Cut, so I don't know if they're transitioning. I think they're transitioning all their models to Magna Cut, if I'm not mistaken, but I may be wrong. Especially with all the, you know, the kind of the recent updates regarding what is it, CPM. I believe that company has been bought out. I think it was going under, and it got bought out by another company. So I've heard, you know, that Magna Cut is going to still be around. I heard that they're going to make an equivalent of a Magna Cut. Who knows? But either way, RWL30 to me is just a great EDC blade steel. I know that the Grimsmo, they do an excellent job heat treating the steel. So it's very, I mean, in my experience, in my other two Rasks that I've had no issues with cutting performance, no chips, no rolls, very easy to sharpen and maintain. And I love that even though this is definitely not, this is an expensive knife. I think market, like just from the Grimsmos, you're going to be paying over $1,000. With the new tariffs that are at play, it might be even more now. I don't know. But, I mean, this is not a cheap knife. But, you know, I know that definitely the Grimsmos have really thought about the end user in mind when they designed and produced the Rasks. Because, I mean, in terms of just like maintainability, you know, 3 screws, 2 body screws, and a captive pivot screw that you can take apart, of course, again, courtesy of the tool that they provide to you. So that's great. And I've taken the Rasks apart, and they're really easy to do so. You know, it's just very, very hassle-free. Everything comes out and gets put back together very easily. So love this knife. It was a big plus when I could actually take care of my knives. Yeah, what a knife. I've missed the Rask. God, the last Rask I had was, I think, about a year ago. But man, so happy to get another Rask into my collection. And man, what a knife. So there you go. I don't want to call this a first impressions or anything like that. I've had the Rask model for a while. And so definitely just wanted to give you my thoughts. But yeah, I think in the ocean of knives that are available today, and this is as of 2025, I think definitely the Rask still holds its own in terms of just fit and finish, build quality. The community around Grimsmo knives are great. The Grimsmo brothers are just the most passionate knife makers that I've come across. You know, they are just really committed and dedicated to mastering this craft of knife making using the most modern and you know, machinery, and their customer service seems to be on point. So yeah, happy to support this company, happy to support the Grimsmos. With that being said, we'd love to hear your thoughts, comments, drop them down below. If you like what you're seeing, you know, feel free to give me a subscribe and a thumbs up. With that being said, I will talk to you guys soon.